Hi everybody, today I am bringing you a stretching routine that will really help you with your flexibility. This is great to do after a ballet class, after a workout, to really get your muscles to loosen up, and you'll start seeing improvements as your dancing progresses. This is also great to do by itself. Just make sure you've done at least 5 minutes of warm up. You can do some pliés, some tendus maybe, or even just jog in place, or just get up and walk around for 5 minutes. That should be great. So follow along with me. All you need is a mat, and let's get started. So we are gonna start on our hands and knees, just gently getting that spine nice and loose. So starting on all fours, just gonna inhale, arching the back. Good, and rounding the back. And again, arch the back. And rounding. Arching the back. This is great to do if you've just done ballet class, your back takes a beating. Good, one more. And release. Good, sit back on your heels. Just let that back stretch for a minute. Good, getting it to open up. Good. Great. Now we're gonna roll down. Just rolling down on your back very gently. Good. Feet underneath those knees. We're going to start by bringing one leg in. Other leg can extend or stay bent, entirely up to you, however your flexibility is. Just make sure you're not gripping this hip flexor. So we're going to rock the leg around in the hip socket, rock it around, and then straighten it up. Holding it wherever you can, maybe here, on the calf, on the shin, wherever you can hold it. Now let's trick those hamstrings. So we're gonna push into the hands, push, 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 and release it. Should stretch a little bit farther. One more time, push into those hands, push, 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 and release it. Good, let's do a third set. Push into the hands, use that hamstring, and release and hold. Good, very gentle. Make sure both hips are down here, and you want to think of almost arching your back. Always stretch as if you were standing up straight, so we're not curving the spine. Yeah, as if you were doing 𝐕𝐤𝐿 in the center, you'd want a nice straight back. So we're going to think of almost arching it here to keep our back straight. Good, both hips flat. Good, bring it across you a little bit. Let's get into that 𝐈𝐻 band. Very gently. Good. Good, back to the center. And let's go away from the body. Getting into that inner thigh just a little bit. We'll do some more inner thigh in a minute. Good, come back to the center and hold. The key to flexibility, guys, is holding it. You can't just do a stretch for 5 seconds and then leave and expect to improve your flexibility. That will still limber up your muscles, but actually increasing your flexibility and your range of motion, you have to hold it. 20 seconds minimum. I like doing at least 30. Good, and release it. All right, let's do the other leg. So bring it in, either bottom leg long or bent. Rock that leg around in the hip socket. Good. And then straighten that leg up. Let's trick those hamstrings into releasing. So push into the hands, push, 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 and release it. Good. One more time, push, 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 push. Should go a little bit farther, release. Good, and again, push, 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 push. And release it. Good, holding it there. Trying to think of keeping that back straight, yet relaxing your shoulders. A lot of us hold tension up in our shoulders. We don't want to do that when we're stretching. Good. Breathing. Good. Excellent. Left hip is down. Let's take it across, getting into the 𝐈𝐻 band. Good. Very gentle. Good, and then open the leg out. A little bit of inner thigh. Try and keep this opposite hip down. We're not to that point yet. Good. Back to the center and hold. Good. Excellent. Couple more seconds here. You're doing great. And release. Good. Back to the first side. Ankle to kneecap, and either reach under and through or around wherever you can. Same thing here though, guys. Keep your back straight. So think of really arching that back. Yeah, if you round the spine, you're stretching in a curved position. You want to stretch as if we were standing up. You want to keep that back straight. Good. You can also think of pulling this knee into the same shoulder. That'll get to that, into that hip. And everybody has a different spot that's a little bit sticky, so just do your best wherever yours is. And just once you find it, hold it. That's the key. Good. All right, let's release it. Other side, ankle to knee, grabbing under, around, or maybe pulling this knee into the same shoulder and thinking of keeping that back nice and straight, arching. You're not actually arching your back, but thinking of arching your back will keep it straight on the ground. And it just makes such a difference in the stretch. Good. Couple more seconds. Try and relax your shoulders, relax your neck. Good, and release it. Okay, both legs up. We're gonna open to our straddle. I have to sit up to do this. So, both legs up, opening out to a straddle, and just holding. You could also do this up against a wall, but this just gives you another option, gently pressing those legs down. This is a great way to increase your second split without putting pressure on your legs, because we're letting gravity do the work instead of forcing our legs into the ground. This is a great way to do that. So just holding. And never, ever, ever let anyone step on you while you're stretching. I know it's a really popular thing to do amongst young dancers. Guys, it's not a good idea. You could rip something, tear something. I've seen too many injuries from that. So make sure you're the only one stretching you. Good. Excellent. Using your hands, help your legs together, and let's rock up to sitting. Okay, so coming to a seated position, let's do some more hip opening. So let's start with one leg on top. Doesn't matter which leg. I'm going to start with the right leg. So you can either do it more of an Indian style, halfway across, or knee to knee. I personally like halfway across to really get the hips flat, more of a turned out position. So sitting up nice and tall, again, thinking of keeping that back straight. We're going to just hinge forward and hold. So like pretend my leg is up to the front, which is essentially what I'm stretching. If I stretch like this, that's how I'm going to be when I'm standing. We don't want to be like that. We want to keep our back nice and straight. So keep that back straight, gently leaning forward. Good. And just holding. Really important for dancers to stretch out your hips, because you want the strong turnout muscles, but you don't want to tighten up. But once you tighten up, you can't turn out, you can't lift your leg. It's really painful. So make sure you're constantly stretching your hips. So sitting up nice and tall, let's come back to a more Indian style thing now. Whatever leg is on top, that arm goes up. We go the opposite direction, and we're gonna hold. You also have the option of pushing this top leg away, and we're just basically getting into the waistband. Getting that waistband. It's a really hard position to find in normal stretching, and this is kind of the only stretch I've found to get there. You should feel it right up here. Good. You can also twist the shoulders a little bit if you like. That's a good one too. Just maneuver around till you find a spot and then stay there. Good. All right, coming back up, let's do the other side. So starting with the hips, wherever you like, all the way, halfway, or knee to knee. Sitting up nice and tall and hinging forward. You can fully do this stretch every day, this sequence every day if you want to. Just make sure you're warmed up. That's the only thing about stretching is if you stretch cold muscles, it not only is not as effective, but you're likely to pull something. So you can do this absolutely every day. Just like I said, 5 minutes of warming up is really all you need. Or after ballet class, after a workout, this is great. So coming back up, whatever leg is on top, that arm goes up. We go the opposite direction. Good, and maybe even push that leg away. That feels good. Or twisting. I usually like to twist on this side. Just finding that kind of sticky spot up here. Good. And hold. Good. Good, and coming up. All right, for a further hip stretch, let's put our feet together, and you can either keep them in close to you, or what I like to do is actually think of double attitude front, so a little bit farther away. And I'm going to use my elbows, again, sitting up nice and tall, not rounding, sitting up straight, hinging forward, and using my elbows to press my knees down. That really gets into that outer hip. This is essentially putting your leg on the bar in front of you in attitude, but doing both of them at the same time. So if this is not your thing, go to the bar, put your leg in front in attitude position, and lean forward. Exactly the same stretch. Good. And then sitting up, now we're going to do a straddle. Now that we've done it already with our legs with gravity, now we can do it on the floor. So find your straddle position. And what I want you to do is think of keeping your knees on top, and we're going to hinge forward without rolling. Yes, this is good, and we'll get there in a minute, but I want you to stretch in a more turned out position. So you might not go as far. So think of keeping those knees on top and using your legs to rotate as you stretch forward, just a different part of the muscle. This is stretching that split, yet turned out. Good. Now let your legs turn in. Now you'll feel a little bit more of an inner thigh stretch. But it's just a different feeling, and you've got to be able to do both if you really want to make your splits worthwhile. Good. Coming back up. Let's bring the legs together. I'm going to flip around. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. And now is the first time we get to round. So I want you to turn off your legs, round your back, and we're just going to get into the shoulder blades. Turn those legs off. The more you can tuck that chin in, the more you're going to feel it in the shoulder blades. We're doing this first so that when we do the normal head to knee stretch, your back doesn't take over. That's what tends to happen to us, is the back takes over on this stretch. So I want you to get that back first. Good. Now very, very slowly roll up. Now straight back, hinging forward, grabbing onto the feet if you can, and hold. Good. See, now your back doesn't take over. Now it's much more about the hamstrings and the backs of the legs. Couple more seconds. Good, and slowly roll it up. Now we're going to do our lunge split series, and I've done this in several videos before, but if you want to get your splits, this is how to start. So coming to all fours, adjusting my mic. So we're going to start with one leg front. So pick a leg and either stay up here nice and tall or come forward off that kneecap so we're not jamming the kneecap into the floor, and just hold. As you've heard me say, getting your splits is a matter of 3 separate parts: your hip flexor, the quad, and the hamstring. So we're going to stretch those individually so then we can get into the full split. So staying here, pressing into that hamstring. Try to keep pressing into that hip flexor. Try and keep your hips square on this one. The more you can roll this hip towards the floor, the better. Good. Now option to stay here, or if you can, lift that foot off the floor and grab it with the opposite hand. This is a big time quad stretch. If this is way too much for you, please don't think you have to do it. Just stay right where you are. You're still getting your quad in that other stretch. Good. Now release that. We're going to straighten the front leg and flex that foot. I like to turn mine out slightly and really keep that back straight, almost sending the hips away from you. This is a great hamstring stretch. Getting into the hamstring. Good. Again, nice long straight back as if our leg is up in the front. We're doing a 𝐕𝐤𝐼𝐴. Here's your 𝐕𝐤𝐝 front. Good. Now either stay there or stretch out into the split. Another optional add-on, same thing as before, back leg off, grab it, and bring it in. Another major quad stretch. Work up to this. It will not happen instantly, but you can get there. Good. And release. Let's do the other side. I'm going to flip this way. Starting on all fours, either high lunge, pushing into this hip flexor, or low lunge, but lifting up forward off that kneecap so we're not jamming it into the floor. And hold. Again, trying to square off those hips so we're not open. Also make sure this knee is right over this foot and not shooting past, so you might have to scooch it out a little bit. Good. Option, grab on with the back arm, opposite arm, pulling in that leg. Again, work up to it. You don't have to get it today. You don't have to get it next week, next month. Just work up to it. If all you can do is this, stay there. Or this, and this, and this, and gradually you'll be able to bring it in. Good. Okay, extending out, straightening that front leg. Dig that heel into the floor, nice straight back. Maybe turn it out slightly. You'll feel it a little bit more on the hamstring sometimes if you turn it out. Good. Either stay there or this is where we split. Make sure you're square here. Also, doing this isn't going to help you. So nice and square. And then last option is grabbing that back foot. Do not, however, do this before class when you're not warm, especially this one. You can rip something. Guys, I cannot stress that enough. Don't do your splits before class. Please don't. Really dangerous. And you can almost make yourself too limber before class. You just want to get to the point where your muscles aren't stiff, not Gumby. Come to all fours again. Now, this is my favorite stretch for your feet and the backs of your toes, which is really hard to get. So, demi-point on the back feet. Stay in demi-point, but push back to child's pose and use your hands to push your weight back. You will feel such a stretch in those toes. It's really hard to stretch the backs of those toes. You might also feel this a little bit in the Achilles, but more in those toes. Good. This is one of my favorites, especially for dancers, because we constantly are in a pointed toe position. We've got to be able to stretch the opposite direction. So then coming back up, come to a crouched position. So we're like this, and your weight should be back to the point where you can lift your hands off the floor. So just hold it. This is for the Achilles. Good, now push down and straighten those legs. Let's walk back to downward facing dog so our body is making a V shape. And just hold this for the calves. Good, now bend one knee, straighten the other, hold it for a second. So we're getting the Achilles on the bent leg, calf on the straight leg, and switch. Just at your own pace. Good. Switch. And switch. Good, both heels down. One last big push here. Stretching those calves. Walk the feet into the hands. Let's do one more hamstring stretch, so just hang out here for a minute. Good, now very slowly bend the knees and roll it up. So that's it, you guys. That is the full stretch. If you want to do your penché stretch or put your heel in your hand, front and side, like you do in ballet class, now is the time to do that. Or not, because you basically stretched all of that anyway, just in a different way. So I really hope you enjoyed this. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment in the box below if this is helping you, if there are any other sort of routines you want me to do. I always love catering to you guys. If you missed my leg strength and stability workout, it is right there. You can click it to watch. Love you guys so much, and I'll see you soon.